Dear friends, welcome to another episode of Geopolitical and Military News. In this video, we will discuss the Ukrainian strategy to target Russian oil refineries with a very clear objective: to impact Vladimir Putin's primary source of income. In prolonged, highly technological, and mechanized conflicts, victory is not always entirely determined on the battlefield, with logistics, access to raw materials, and industries playing a significant role. The first major conflict where this was observed was World War II, a war in which the mechanization of forces reached unprecedented levels, with numerous vehicles on land, sea, and air. Industries and raw materials were decisive. It was precisely in response to the United States oil export boycott that Japan decided to attack Pearl Harbor and over a dozen targets in the Pacific, all with the sole aim of securing access to vital inputs and raw materials for the Japanese war industry. In the European theater, the Allies were well aware of how crucial the German industry was to the war. The Germans, under the coordinated efforts of Albert Speer starting in 1942, built the largest industrial park in Europe, creating a massive and robust network of factories capable of decentralized production. The Allies knew that one way to defeat Germany on the front line was by destroying its rear, particularly the factory networks created by Speer. In 1942, the United States and the United Kingdom initiated the largest and most brutal aerial bombing campaign in history, conducting daily airstrikes targeting communication lines, logistical routes, and, most importantly, German industries. Unfortunately, as many of these industries were located near or within large cities, and the bombers of that era lacked precision, these Allied actions resulted in a terrible toll on civilians, with entire German cities being completely devastated. However, despite the sad cost in civilian lives, these Allied attacks achieved the intended effect, severely affecting the German war effort and diminishing Hitler's army's capacity on the front line, actively contributing to the defeat of Nazi Germany. Today, in the 21st century, industries, resources, and raw materials are even more vital in any major conflict. With the Russian invasion of Ukraine being no exception, during the Cold War, the Soviet Union created the world's second-largest defense industrial complex, second only to the United States, with thousands of industries spread across that vast territory, fueled by raw materials, gas, and oil, largely extracted from Russia itself. With the Soviet collapse, a significant part of the industrial complex was abandoned, leading to its decline, but many factories remain active, even expanding, in a broad modernization process initiated by Putin towards the end of his second term. Thanks to these efforts, Russia has managed to develop a modern and comprehensive industry and, despite still being highly dependent on advanced items like electronic circuits and microchips, Russia is now capable of producing everything it needs for its defense from scratch or by assembling parts acquired abroad. This has resulted in a highly technological arsenal, comprising a wide variety of ballistic and cruise missiles, and of course, observation and attack drones, all crucial for modern warfare. All these industries are, obviously, fueled by oil and natural gas, vital inputs for any industry and, fortunately for Russia, abundant in its own territory. In terms of natural gas, Russia is the world's second-largest producer, trailing only the United States, and in estimated oil reserves, it ranks 8th, with the equivalent of almost 5% of all global reserves. With so much oil and natural gas, Putin can meet his industry's demand, with plenty left to sell abroad, crucial sales to finance his invasion effort in Ukraine. This means that oil and natural gas in Russia are doubly important for Putin's war effort. They are essential for powering the industry, for the production of weapons and vehicles, and crucial for generating revenue to fund his massive invasion army. And, of course, Ukraine is well aware of all this. Similar to what the Allies did in World War II, Ukrainians are also specifically targeting Russian industries sustaining the invasion. Since the beginning of Putin's war on February 24, 2022, Ukraine has been carrying out sporadic attacks on Russian depots and refineries, but in recent months, these attacks have become much more intense, and equally important, more precise and efficient. It is crucial to highlight a very important detail: these Ukrainian attacks are being carried out deep inside Russia. The latest one, on Thursday, January 25, targeted one of the largest Russian refineries on the shores of the Black Sea, located in the city of Tuapse, 1,100 kilometers from the nearest Ukrainian position. A few days before this attack, Ukraine destroyed another Russian refinery in the Leningrad Oblast, about 500 kilometers away, with about a dozen other attacks carried out over the past few months, mostly against refineries hundreds of kilometers away. According to available information, these attacks were carried out by long-range drones, demonstrating that crucial Russian infrastructures, such as refineries, are not adequately protected by air defenses. Through these attacks, Ukraine achieves two objectives simultaneously. It affects the primary means that fuels Russian military factories and affects oil refining, the sale of which funds Putin's war effort in Ukraine. And as these are highly precise means of attack, they do not harm civilians living in the region. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now to support us, and leave your like. Until next time.